and welcome to CNN Today, the most trusted journalism in your language. I'm Paula Newton. We tell you today's most important global stories in about 5 minutes. It's Wednesday, July 10th. Here is your CNN. The Lebanese militant group Hezbollah continues to fire missiles toward northern Israel. CNN recently traveled to an Israeli village to get a first-hand look at the situation along the border. Jeremy Diamond has our report.
They're going to see us right when we get up there, and we have 3 minutes.
Colonel Jordan Hertzberg is talking about Hezbollah.
After 3 minutes, they can start the fire, so we're going to do it very quick.
He's taking us to an Israeli community on the front lines of Israel's simmering conflict with the Lebanese militant group. Up a winding mountain road, past a roadblock and a security fence, and into the village of Shtula, which sits right on the Lebanese border.
We've just entered the village of Shtula. This is a community of about 300 people normally, but right now it's just an absolute ghost town.
Let's go quick.
The 3-minute countdown starts as soon as we are within line of sight of southern Lebanon.
Look how close we are to the border here.
Where Hezbollah militants armed with anti-tank missiles are closely watching the border, prepared to fire once again.
This house was hit by an anti-tank missile right here, past the window.
2 homes, one next to the other, hit in the same attack, according to the Israeli military.
This is one of the most dangerous places in northern Israel right now. We're in Shtula, and you can see the Lebanese border just right across there, across from those concrete barriers. We're just a few hundred feet, and what that means is that we are within range of those anti-tank guided missiles, and that is exactly what has wrought this destruction on this civilian home.
The threat of anti-tank missiles is part of why Israel wants to push Hezbollah back to the Litani River, about 18 miles north of the border, outside the range of those missiles.
Okay, we have 35 seconds.
We've been here for 3 minutes. The colonel has been watching his watch the entire time that we've been here, and now he's telling us it's time to go.
Hurricane Beryl hit Texas hard, killing several people and knocking up power to more than 2.5 million homes. Restoring power could take days or even weeks. Derek Van Dam reports.
Deadly Hurricane Beryl, making landfall along the Gulf Coast, battering Texas with hurricane-force winds whipping up to 94 miles per hour. Rising waters leading to dramatic rescues in Houston. Surging wind and rainfall, flooding roadways, blowing down trees, and slamming residents along its path. In Houston, shortly after landfall, hurricane-force wind gusts up to 84 miles per hour, causing roofs to collapse. And heavy rain, more than a month's worth in one day. The high winds canceling flights across Texas. At one point, knocking out power for almost 3 million people throughout the state, straining an already stretched power grid overwhelmed by extreme weather.
Researchers in China testing robot guide dogs, hoping they can one day help the visually impaired live more independently. It can navigate via cameras and has an AI-enabled voice recognition capability. Mark Stewart has the story.
A Chinese research team is testing a 6-legged robot dog on the streets in Shanghai to help visually impaired people. Li Fei and her husband are visually impaired and working with the Jiaotong University research team to test these robots.
For now, I can tell it where I'm going via voice conversation. I can control the speed with this blind cane I have.
The robot dog navigates by using cameras and sensors and recognizes traffic signals, which guide dogs can't do. It can communicate with visually impaired people through AI technology in voice recognition and route planning, using listening and speaking capabilities. China has around 17 million visually impaired people, according to the China Association of the Blind. 8 million are completely blind, says the World Health Organization, but there are only 400 or so guide dogs in the country, says the head of the research team.
It is impossible to solve this problem with guide dogs. Robots are a lot like cars, and I can mass produce them in the same way as cars. It will become more affordable.
Critics say robots can't adjust to terrain and dangerous situations as easily as dogs can. But despite the pros and cons, researchers believe there is a future for both to exist in harmony.
Thank you for watching CNN Today, the most trusted journalism in your language. We'll see you tomorrow.